you haven't noticed, we've had a paradigm shift, right? Over the last 2 years, pretty much everything we know is no longer. And there's a lot of people that are basically looking at it and going, oh, I long for those years, can I have those back, please? When's the normal coming back again? Well, there's no old normal, there's not even a new normal. What I think you need to start thinking about is what's the next normal, right? And it's really exciting. When was the last time we had an absolutely blank piece of paper that we could basically reinvent everything that we have done before? Because I think we all can admit, quietly or to other people, that as an industry, we've kind of rested on our laurels and what we have done before, and we've repackaged it and rebranded it, but at the end of the day, the essence of it has been the same. And we're a very touch-based business, and we're now basically looking at results of people needing more personal space for safety, curbside pickup, delivery, without actual personal contact. So it almost goes against our old DNA, right? How many times have we said, our conferences are all about hugging. We're all very personal. And yet we, at the end of the day, are a business, and we have to cater to the changing habits and behavioral patterns of people that are going to come in. The answer is money. What was the question, right? So I'm not going to show you any pretty pictures today for interiors. We're going to talk a little bit more. I'm going to follow suit, and I think, Mike basically set it up. Michael set it up perfectly. And he talked about a couple of things that I'm going to leave off this list. But this is from McKinsey. So again, in keeping with looking elsewhere and outside of our kind of bubble, I suggest that you guys look at research centers and survey results, not necessarily from the industry, but they may be about the industry or about our profile of customer and client. And so this is from McKinsey, and basically the wellness is across 6 dimensions. None of this stuff is we have seen this before, right? But I'm going to take it a little bit in a different way. And the bottom line is there's competition. The industry is getting more competitive. There are people that are not traditionally in the industry of wellness and are now basically competing in the space. So if you're a brick and mortar, or if you're a resort property, are you going to be limited to your physical space, or are you going to expand your offering beyond the spa? Okay, so hopefully I can do this right. How do we, is it here? There we go. All right, so let's talk about those categories one at a time. And the links are on there. I know I have limited time. When I started putting this presentation together, I ended up with 12 pages of data, right? So I distilled it down to 8 slides, which I think Michael had 8 slides too, so there must be a pattern going on there. But this is telehealth. Mike touched base on about it in terms of therapists, but there has been a boom of telemedicine, online. The convenience factor alone, right? The ability to actually get an appointment, not to have to go through the whole rigmarole of your primary physician, so forth and so on. So here's a situation. No, we don't. Well, we can click on it too. But basically, there's links on all of these. Forward basically is addressing the fact that we have a very expensive health system that isn't really providing a service of wellness and a very holistic, multi-layered approach. And we can click out of that actually. Thank you. This is an actual retail location. So as a facility, whether you're a resort property or an individual like a day spa or a medical spa, what are you doing to actually provide those panels? Everything within a 30-mile radius is competition. That was the traditional model. Now everything within, I don't know how many miles. If they have an online presence, they're competition, right? So what are you doing to redefine your value proposition and having a sustainable model that will last you into the next normal? I want to just point out that Forward is a great retail example of what's going on. They have multiple locations that are opening up all the time. There's one in Fashion Island that opened up about 1.5 years ago. Again, COVID, I don't think caused anything. I think COVID accelerated what was already happening. And then there's a location here that the Shaw Wellness Clinic, they actually have a 7-day what do they call it? Long COVID effect, basically, recovery. And they're charging $3,000 for that over 7 days. Okay, so what are we doing to provide that as a treatment for mental health? Basically, people have a very heightened sense of self-care now. And they are reading labels, they're looking at beyond the surface. It has to be authentic, genuine, quantifiable, all of that stuff, whether it's product or service. So let's go to the next one. Fitness. Okay, I'm a member of Lifetime. Anybody else a member of Lifetime in this room? Or Equinox? Okay. Jessica in the back. So Lifetime is a fitness gym originally. Now they're in actual fractional rental. So they're basically competing with Airbnb. And their whole lifestyle offering through these properties, one is already leasing in Coral Gables, there's one coming up in Henderson, is around the fitness, health, wellness lifestyle. And so this is not a resort, this is an actual apartment complex basically, okay, that is providing all of that. Now here's an interesting thing about them. They're positioning themselves in communities where traditionally Airbnb was limited because the community wouldn't allow less than 30 days rental. These guys are renting as a starting of 30 days rental at $3,000 a month for these units. And you can book your training sessions on the TV that's in the living room. You can track with the personal training. And of course, like everybody else in the fitness business over the last year, they're not physical location based alone. They have hybrids, there's virtual, there's classes, they're teaming up with local fitness brands in Orange County. There's like Box House that is providing programming that now feeds through their distribution channel. So people that are hyper local about who they're using and what services they're buying into that want to support small business. Large companies like this are saying, well, we're going to bring that content in and we're going to feed it through our channels. So just like Peloton is doing kind of similar stuff too. Like there's a loyalty to that fitness trainer. So they're leveraging that and providing it. Because at the end of the day, it's all about customized service. Like there's no one size fits all anymore. And we've said that a million years. One size doesn't fit all. One-on-one customer service. But have we really delivered on that, or have we taken a program and tried to apply it to as many people as possible in a very personalized way? Now, with technology that Michael pointed out, those end users are demanding that customization. I mean, I think it's an amazing, great thing where you basically are giving them the thing before they arrive and check in, so that data is already being collected to customize the service once they're on property. Nutrition. Did you know there was such a thing as eat neutral or like zero carbon footprint milk? Yeah. So this is very important because again, people not only are aware of health and wellness, but they also want to be small footprint impact. I mean, one thing that happened over the last 2 years is that we all have a shared common experience globally. You can be sitting at a cafe in the middle of Manila, and somebody next to you, unless they're too young, you have a common point of reference. And you say, so how was it for you during COVID? Just think about that. You have a common reference point with every human being on the planet, right? And so we want to make sure, we always talk about like global impact, right? Well, we have an opportunity for global impact now. If we actually are willing to let go of the application of what we know, keep to the spirit of what our industry is about, but then find innovative new ways to impact people's lives beyond the physical location. So this was nutrition. Appearance. That's the world population by age group. We're not getting any younger. Okay? What does that mean for us? Well, we've always used, anti-aging. We've provided services and products to speak to that, right? But we've done it in the physicality of a location. Well, guess what? On-demand services started off with Soothe and Zeal and massages. If you guys noticed, I did a presentation for iSpa about a few years ago, and when I said Soothe and Zeal, about 80 people in the room, maybe 2 people knew what I was talking about. And I was like, danger, danger, competition's coming, right? And if you don't have an on-demand service with physical location, you're missing out. You should develop your own sort of customized soothe program, right? Well, too much liability, I don't know what. Well, here comes COVID, and now you basically are delivering services. You're sending out color packets for hair. You're doing stuff that's outside the normal comfort zone. Well, those are mobile injectables in LA that are happening right now. Okay? When you look at their website, can we click on that website, please? When you look at that website, if it's the same thing I saw yesterday, it's almost like McDonald's. 1 million injectables served. It's okay. We can skip it. Sorry. It basically, I was surprised, like the way they're pitching this thing is, and we service San Bernardino County and Orange County and LA County and whatever, and you basically, it's on demand. It's coming to you, right? And at $12, by the way, for Botox. So very competitive price point. Like those looking up right now. Making information. I made one earlier. I go into the dermatologist and I'm like, this works for me, and they'll come to me, right? So, okay, so let's talk about how this basically also impacts the physical space and beyond, right? So like I said, we need a holistic approach regardless of your size, whether you're a day spa, medical spa, resort spa, you gotta think about your services as a genuine supporter of a lifestyle choice to your end user that has a heightened sense of self-care, wellness, mental, body, spirit, okay? A lot of words that we've used for a long time, but they have a real heightened meaning today. You gotta think beyond your size. You gotta use technology. Michael mentioned that you gotta use technology and off-premises delivery of services and products creatively to expand the influence of your footprint. You can no longer think 30-mile radius competition. And what is it that you're really offering, okay? Wellness today is beyond the spa. All right. Smooth flow of spaces, new consideration of personal safe space dynamics we talked about. Usually our approach has been, let's space plan this thing with the maximum saturation of services. We're gonna use every square inch that we have because we're gonna basically charge for every square inch that we have. Well, your end user needs a little bit more room. I used to always tell people, it also makes you look better, larger. You can charge a higher price point if you look a little bit more grand. Try to give a little bit more room, elbow space. But now there's actually a sense of comfort. Like if we're all in presentation, right? Okay. After we're done, you come up to the speaker and say hello. You shake their hand. How far is a comfortable distance? Is it appropriate? Do you fist bump? Do you shake hands? If I fist bump, does it show that I'm still scared about the pandemic or not? Okay? This is all human interaction in a physical space. So when it comes to interiors, those have to be factored in. And it may be temporary. Maybe in 5 years from now, we won't have these considerations. But there's definitely going to be more impact of COVID that lingers than was before. And there's no going back, like we said. Okay, designing spaces must be flexible. We've talked about this forever, right? They have to be flexible because if it doesn't work today, and we're sort of in this innovative period right now, beyond pivot, actually, right? We pivoted because we needed to. Now we're in this innovative period where we have to have a space that can work for us as we experiment with what things are and how we're going to basically make our mixes, right? So we can't limit ourselves. And it's all about the experience. It's a layered experience and it's a sensory experience, right? And it has to be memorable, beneficial. We used to worry about how do I charge for infrared sauna? How do I charge for soaking? How do I incorporate that, right? Well, now they're looking for that as a recovery. Those are recovery things. So you sell memberships and allow people now to basically come in and use that infrared sauna. I mean, I go to the gym. My recovery every day when I go work out is steam and sauna. It's a regimen. It's not even, I make time for it. So I would be almost willing to pay for that layer. Whereas before it's like, how do we charge for that soaking tub before the massage or whatever? It's a lost leader. So it's all about being inside out. Again, similar, sort of that's left over from COVID. It's like all the restaurants, no, I'm going to eat at the patio. I went out to dinner yesterday, and I asked, actually, do you have a patio seat? Even though I didn't really have to. But there's a programming that I want to be outside, okay? I don't think it's limited to California, by the way. I think that's everywhere. Like you have, we've done covered patios on patios that didn't have covers before, so that they can be used in winter, right? So it gives you that indoor-outdoor, right? Part of it is also like sunlight and sound. Can you guys hear the air conditioning in here? Yeah, I'm going to meditate in this room, right? It's going to be very annoying to try to find a meditation spot in this room. And the lighting. No circadian rhythm or lighting in this room. Okay, it's a gloomy day outside. Does it feel sunny in here? No. Can we incorporate that into our design? Absolutely. You can actually find 2x4 inserts into acoustical tile ceilings right now that are circadian rhythm adjustable. LEDs, right? All of this stuff, when you're talking to consultants, when you're talking to architects or interior designers, those are things that they should be talking to you about. More than even the aesthetic, oh, it's a beautiful wall of whatever. No. These are layers of air quality, lighting, sound control. Air quality is huge. If you cannot have a provable, like hygiene, it's not enough to say, we follow protocols for hygiene. It has to be blatantly clear to the person engaging with the space that you do live that, you walk that talk, including air quality. If you have something on the door that says, this happened during COVID, by the way. If you had something on the door that said, this space is protected by this air filtration system that catches 98% of particles. Oh, okay, I feel safe going in here. All right? And then after I get over the, I'm in danger, now it's like, well, I expected the air quality is good. So I want that now. Right? And if you don't have it, and the guy across the street has it, guess what? I'm going across the street. Restaurants, all kinds of business, retail, okay? So it's all about bringing the inside out, outside in. Hotels, especially, okay? Occupants both healthy and happier. There's a growing significance, Michael touched on this, I think, by just the way that they're programmed. It has to be layered. There has to be a holistic approach. When they come into your facility, they're not coming in with wellness as, oh, you know, when I'm done with the kids and at the pool and dinner and the I'll see if I can get a massage. No, now it's part of my whole daily activity. How do I, from day one, from when I'm at the sink of the room, all the way through till I basically go to bed, how many touch point of wellness can I actually introduce into their day? Because they're looking for it. And they're waiting, you know, they're willing to pay for it. Okay, direct and indirect exposure, we talked about that a little bit. And then wellness and sustainability. Okay, they really are two sides of the same coin. Now, I would add that sustainability is not only sustainability in terms of low impact on the earth or recycling or whatever, it's also sustainability of your business. So how do you sustain your business? You're at a crossroads, right? Well, not even a crossroads. We're beyond the edge, right? We're now in a position where we can really embrace this and engage innovatively, creatively, it was mentioned, with what comes next. And we have no limitations. It's a blank piece of paper right now. Whether it's a physical location that has a ripple effect into the community, beyond the community, there's no limitations anymore. And we are suffering a little bit now from supply lines and all this stuff, but that's temporary. That'll go. Possibly there will be even more local resources that come out of this. Okay, definitely you want to be in a position where you're allowing yourself to go there. Okay, our world has shrunk. Okay, home and office are no longer, like homes used to be pit stops, right? We kind of pit stopped at home to work, right? They're not. Now there's a survey that says basically people are looking forward to Friday nights being at home versus booking themselves out for like 3 or 4 events. We're coming out on event season, right? There's a paradigm shift in behavior pattern, purchasing pattern, even you could even say employee-employer power dynamics. No, I'm not going to travel for an hour and a half to sit at a desk and basically send emails all day. I will now remotely work. I'm going to want the quality of life that has a hybrid balance, 3 days in the office, maybe, right? And a lot of companies are doing this. A lot of companies, because they are aware of what their employees want and the health and wellness of employees, they're basically reprogramming their whole operating system And they realize that in most cases, there is also an efficiency if they can program it. So imagine if you're in HR right now and you're going, oh my God, this is like brand new. I don't know how to do this. How do I do HR when, well, you know, 3/4 of my workforce is working at home, you know, half the time? How do I basically control the consistency of Zoom calls? Is there a common background behind me when somebody's Zooming? Who pays for that? Does the company pay for that? Do we give them an allowance? Do they have an internet speed that actually works to the level of what the company stands for? Like all these things, right? Well, guess what? They all happen in a physical space. So we, you know, if you're a business, Wi-Fi strength, green screen, all of those things, lighting. How many of us basically did Zoom calls last year and the lighting was horrible, right? And we never realized that our lighting was horrible because it's ambient lighting and this is how I relax. Yeah, not on Zoom. Right? And I won't even ask you guys what you were wearing. But basically, it's never going to be the same again. And that's actually exciting. And if you're dealing with consultants, they have to be in that space. They have to be excited about what can be done versus just regurgitating the same stuff all over. Thank you. Any questions? I'll be around all day. So I know we got a bunch of speakers. Patrick. But I'll be around all day. So if you guys are interested, come find me. I'll talk your ear off. Okay? Thanks, Lisa.